Here we go. We are live on only the YouTube from a beautiful, I'm assuming, hot and lousy North Carolina.
Not
and
hot.
A beautiful, should be in the 30-degree Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It is, here's my microphone. It is September the 2nd. We are in September, year of our Lord 2023. Day after my father's 96th birthday and big party yesterday, and day 2 of being out of prison, or as I call it, the hospital. Big shout out to St. Joseph's Hospital, Dr. Mark. Oh man, Dr. Mark. Ooh. I hope anytime I go to the ER, Dr. Mark is there, because he just runs around. He just runs around like a bat out of hell, trying to clear people, and it's amazing. And then, of course, the Dr. Tam and Dr. Gao and all these other people. All these other doctors came in that I didn't even remember their names. And the nurses who spent zero time with me because I was just lying there and had nothing to do. And
well, I just want to say that I'm not thankful for them, because they fixed you and now you're not as crabby anymore. See, you used to be
I'm even more crabby.
And worked up.
I don't know. I'm even more crabby.
You've been really chill in the last 48 hours that I've talked to you. So, I'm thinking that they screwed something up.
Since I've been home?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know who I'm not chill at is, that Storm Janak. She has not been a good kitty the last, I don't know, she's mad because...
On your good side.
Mad because I was not home. I'm not sure what's going on with that Storm Janak. But, man,
those Instagram posts are going to be a little messy.
Oh, man. All right, so Sierra Rose is here. Shout out to Sierra Rose and William. William's on the fast and the mend after the surgery this week, and I believe they're heading home this morning. Sierra Rose can correct me.
Let's be honest, that wasn't surgery. That was rebirth. That was creating a whole new person is what he went through, so...
And of course, I had to go in and have my own thing because I was jealous, you see.
Yeah.
So I had to get my own thing. I didn't want him having all the attention. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go in the hospital too. So,
and the difference is, Jeff, Williams was supposed to be overnight surgery. Yours was supposed to be outpatient, and you wound up staying there for a week. So you were just milking the system. That's Canada for you,
Free healthcare. Free healthcare. I was getting 3 meals a day. I was getting an afternoon snack. It was. So I said this on my stream last night. It was quite funny. Friday I had to do 2 Zoom calls. One, you know how Teams or Zooms will, if you join, they'll tell the other person, hey, there's somebody waiting. So she knew I was in the hospital on Thursday. She was not expecting me to show up. So I showed up for the Zoom call. She's like, what the hell are you doing? So we had a quick chitter chatter. She's on vacation for a week, so I knew I was going to chat to her for a bit.
Above and beyond the Jeff.
And then I had another call. And so I've got my son Big Ol' Mac brought my laptop. I got there. I've got the gown on. Why I didn't change in the real clothes, I don't know, but whatever. And she goes, man, this is the most depressing Zoom I've ever been on. Then the almost called her a waitress. Then the nurse brought over my little antibiotic, and I took that. And she's like, now this is the most drug-filled Zoom I've ever been on.
I'm laughing so hard because I can picture it, because I've been at those calls. Oh God! I'm supposed to ask you about a Christmas Eve story, Jeff.
Are you? Christmas Eve?
I don't know. Ann said ask Jeff the Christmas Eve story.
Ask Ann about the Christmas Eve story. Oh, yes. Ann is Jewish.
Okay.
In case you didn't know. So
I didn't pick up on that in the accent, no.
Yeah, so she's Jewish, which means that Christmas Eve to her is just a day. So to us, Christians, I was off. So she had a work-related question because we work together. So she texts me and she goes, "Are you working today?" Because it was Christmas Eve. And I'm like, "No, I'm celebrating doing stuff with my family. But what do you need?" And so still jumped on a phone call with her to help her out with her problem and helped her through her thing. Because, Christmas Eve to her was just Tuesday. So
yeah, well,
it's
just kind of like the Canadian Independence Day to us is just another day. You're all waving your flag around and I'm at work.
Exactly. Daddy celebrated 96th birthday yesterday. We were all over there.
A year older?
Sorry?
Is your mom a year older than your dad?
She is 5 years younger. Last week she turned 91.
She is young. Okay. All right. I'm getting all my parents mixed up for everybody. I thought before that I had mentioned that your mom was a cougar because your dad was younger, but I guess that was somebody else. Sorry to the Janak parents.
Mm-hmm. It's my mother doesn't want people to know her age. She always tells people she's like in her 70s. And we're like, do you think people are stupid? Like, they go home and they're like, you listen to Dolores. She thinks we're stupid. So before she went away, she said,
I go with it.
Before she went away, she goes, well, maybe we should have a little party. Maybe we should do something for your father. And I'm like, but then people will figure out his age because they'll know he's 96 and they'll figure out that, you're in your 90s. Oh, no, they won't. They'll just think he's a pedophile and married a 5-year-old. What the fuck's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you?
Your parents are a riot, man. I tell you what, when you've lived for almost a century, you've got a lot of fun.
Exactly.
I would be honored if I could live as long as your parents. I'm probably going to be on the like 3/4 century life cycle. I have a feeling because it's just how it goes. But
William says, "Don't worry, Jeff. Going cross-eyed is part of the experience. Keeping your hands and legs in the ready to ride at the all time." Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
Ray said there was
a chance that I wasn't going to make the party, but I had mentioned it to them, so everybody in the hospital knew the goal. And when I spoke to them on Thursday, the nephrologist, the kidney specialist, she's like, they were waiting for some results back, but to know what antibiotic to put me on and this and that. And she's like, you know what? You just go for a walk. Just go for a walk for 4 hours. Just tell me go for a walk for 4 hours. Just promise to come back.
Going off campus. See you later.
It's just like, because there was like nothing like there was like nothing to do. Like the nurses came in, they do their initial, they do my blood pressure and stuff, and then I see them at the end of their shift when they do it again. Like I never see them during their shift. Right.
Yeah, so when she comes in, you're like, hey, that's a great idea, by the way. Can you call me an Uber?
It's just like, so like if they, and so they were all talking about it. And even like the head, guy on Friday, he's like, we see no reason to keep you. Like, just go home. Yeah, we'll just give you this. And we know you got the party, but yeah, they were all ready just to give me a day pass. And my family's like, they don't do that. You can't. What? You don't get it's not prison. You don't get a day pass. It's not like when you were in prison, you got your day.
Well, and like you told me just before the show, right? Your body's telling you what it needs to do anyway. So, it's not like they're going to be able to tell you any different when you're there. So, at least you still have that feeling, and you know that you have to, take care of things.
On the plus side, I didn't have my laptop. I just only had my phone. So I got caught up on a few shows. I've got some scripts written for some upcoming content. I just didn't want to leave my laptop. Not that I ever left the room at all, but I didn't want to have the laptop there and this and that. But I could have brought the laptop and I probably could have gamed it. I probably could have played Starfield, which we're going to chat about a little bit later. But thanks everyone for dropping in. Ray is here and Sierra. I think they're heading out. I think they're heading out today. The road trip home. William's got new body parts, I guess. So that's
completely awesome. What you see of William is just a dressing over. I'm telling you, Ray should not be the cyborg anymore. I think Will should be the cyborg now.
Probably.
Yeah.
That is probably.
No offense, Ray. No offense. I just, Will is definitely like the Terminator, as he's coming home. So
we're going to be back to Gotham Knights. And I got to try to get in touch with Bulls for Life. He said on the stream, at the end of the stream, he wanted to play. So I got to try to get a hold of Bulls for Life somehow and see if he can drop in and
Gotham Knights does it play just like Avengers does?
More or less,
Same concept.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. Yeah. You got a superhero, and you got to gear him up, and you got to go fight the baddies, and
You have a central place to go back to get your missions and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you go do you go back to the Batcave, and that's like, or I guess it's not necessarily just Batman. Yeah.
No, Batman's dead, so there's a whole tower thing you go to. But we're playing the heroic adventure, which is more like the call to arms in Red Dead. So you got 25 floors, and you go in your three sections of the floor, and you got to go and attack the baddies. You got to protect the thing, and you got to go capture a thing, and you got to kill people. And there's every fifth level there's a harder boss. And
I've jumped in on a couple of times when you and Crow have been playing, and I've seen the game play, but I haven't stayed long enough to see what you all are doing. Yeah. But it feels very much like one of those types of games where you're kind of doing the same things over and over in like a new space or with a new person or something like that. So
thank God Ray joined us, because we got to the hard boss and Ray jumped in, and we needed that third person. Thank God Ray jumped in last Monday, because he got there just in time. We needed that third person. Otherwise, without that third person, I think there's no way in hell that we would have completed that boss. And this is like, well, thank God Ray jumped in. Shout out to Ray for jumping in at the right time.
Huge relief, because you're sitting in there, you're getting frustrated, like, oh my God, and then all of a sudden.
No, we hadn't even started that one yet. We had only just gotten to that one when he had jumped. He got there late. He had, obviously homework and stuff to do with Evan, and he got there late. So we did a couple of the easy ones, and it was like, oh, here we go. And then Ray jumped in. It's like, oh, thank God Ray jumped in, because we would not have been able to complete that boss on our own. I'm the weak link. You got to remember, I'm the weak link in that process. So
I've got to read slower, Jeff, because as I saw Sierra's message here, I read the last sentence as Van is all guessed up, so all we have to do is oil up and go.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why load looked like oil to me when I was reading, but now I've just got this image of Sierra just rubbing baby oil all over William to slip him into the van.
Coming to OnlyFans soon.
Say there's a mental picture for everybody. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Jeffy, I told you I got a hard stop, so we got a little bit shorter of a show today. I've got to get on the road because we've got a soccer tournament this weekend. So we're going to jump in right here, right now. Unfortunately, to kick off, we've got some sad news to share. So we're going to start the show off on a little somber note, but then we've got some gaming news to discuss.
We do.
Our post of the week. Did you hear about? And then I'm giving you 5 guesses today. We're going back to our original 5 guesses formula. So are you ready to go, sir? By the way, I'm really glad you're back, Jeff, if I didn't say that already. Ann and Jim were amazing in your absence, but man, they beat me up. They're too smart for me, Jeff. I needed you back.
I almost got fired. There was a coup. There was a coup afoot. I think the only thing that stopped the coup was that the fact that I was in the hospital. If I wasn't in the hospital, I think I would have been out, and they would have been back today. There was a coup afoot. Hey, let me tell you.
We had a great time. Jeff, we almost went 2 hours.
I know. I was there. You remember, I was in the back end.
Yeah, we were just going and going and going, and then they hit me with the 5 guesses, and I felt like a freaking idiot because I couldn't remember the name of the 18.
That was easy. That was the easiest 5 guesses to edit. That was the easiest one to edit. That took me like an hour to edit. That was like so easy to edit.
So what you're saying is you're the problem with the edits.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. Oh, definitely.
All right.
No, definitely. I am.
All right. Well.
All right.
I got to say it last week, but you're back.
You did. So you did. Big thanks to Wondershare, as always, for sponsoring the show. I could not make these videos without their Filmora software. I just wish I had spent more. I wish I knew more about. I need to spend more time learning. There are a lot of cool features. There's a new update that I got an email about that's got even some more cool AI features that I need to play with. It is.
You can see you are learning, though, the more you use it. And that's what I think speaks to how user-friendly it is, because you can start to learn as you make your mistakes going through, because your shorts that you've created have gotten better each week. They're just cleaner and crisper, and, the words popping up. And so, I think that speaks volumes to how easy it is, because you can learn on the go, right? So. Awesome. All right. Well, like I said, we've got some somber news to get into first. This is a little bit old, but it happened after we got off air last week. The legend, Bob Barker, Price is Right. Remember, Happy Gilmore said the price is wrong, bitch, and then he woke up from the dead and he kicked his ass down there in the bottom right corner. But Bob Barker, man, what was he? 99 years old?
I loved it. I loved it how everyone's kept saying that, he got to 99 without going over 100, because that was always his big thing, get close to the dollar without going over. So I saw lots of people stealing. I don't know who first coined it, but I saw lots of people stealing that tweet.
You know what?
Post last week.
That is awesome. That is really, really funny. And I'm sure that he would appreciate that. He seemed like that kind of a guy, just from the little interviews I would see of him and stuff. There was some controversy there, during the Price is Right with the girls and this and that. I don't think anybody is an angel when they're in Hollywood, but this guy, he's a staple of my life. He was on TV ever since I've been born, in some capacity. So,
and we talked
grew
about
up with Price is Right,
And we talked about it during the game show draft, where when you're homesick in the when you're homesick in the 70s,
you knew you had Bob taking care of you.
You came home, you were homesick, and you watched The Price is Right.
Well,
and my most amazing fact is that Drew Carey. It's almost been 20 years that Drew's been doing it. Like, holy crap! Can't believe he's been doing it.
Because I was going to say that you had said that beforehand, because now will we see him, look at that. Almost 50 years of 40 years of The Price is Right. Almost 40 years of The Price is Right. And Drew Carey's almost halfway there, and it doesn't feel like it.
I know.
Doesn't feel like it. So
I know.
Well, rest in peace, Bob Barker. You will be missed. And thank you for all of the good times.
And the other clip that kept making the rounds that everybody probably saw was the lady who was trying to guess the price, and he was getting so mad because she kept repeating the same number, which I think was his most famous clip, where he was getting so angry at her.
Oh man!
So, and I was watching. I was watching something. I don't. Who was I watching? I was watching somebody, and the lady was in the military, and she regrets that she never, because they were always having military shows, and so they were always able to go to a taping, but she never got to one. I forget what I was watching. I don't think it was Purple. I don't know what I was watching. I watch a lot of crap, but yeah, she was.
Isn't there a show or a docuseries or something about a guy that made like a perfect bet on Price is Right? He like figured out the system.
Oh, probably.
I think I saw something like that.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure somebody might know what I'm talking about. But I think that there was a guy that got called up onto the show, and he like picked like the perfect bid on like every single game that he was in. There was like a big controversy around that.
Probably. There's always a little controversy around these things. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, rest in peace. We've got another one here. This one's a little bit more personal to you, because it deals directly with a Dallas Cowboy. We'll call him a Dallas Cowboy because, hell, he was there for, 65, 70 years.
Yeah.
But Gil Brandt, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about him, Jeff, here. But the biggest thing I just wanted to say is that this guy's a legend, right?
Yes. And a lot of people, a lot of the casual NFL fans won't even have heard of him, don't even know about him, maybe because he worked for the Cowboys for 7,000 years. And that's, and people hate the Cowboys. But he started out as just like $50 a week, just helping scout some local players. And then when the Cowboys got a franchise, they brought him in. And of course the Cowboys have always had money. They've always had rich owners. And so he got a computer. He was the first one to put stats in a computer for the draft. He was the first one to look at other countries for talent, other sports for talent. He invented the combine, everything we do today and we take for granted. He either invented or has, touched it in some way. And then, of course, when Jerry took over, he fired everybody, including Gil. But Gil still, even up to a few years ago, he was still tweeting combine stuff. He was still tweeting stuff about the prospects and this and that.
Well, I was telling you last night, when NFL TV came out, I remember them always like quoting him or like sourcing him, and his name was all over that news. So I mean, he's been around the game, and even though he's been associated with the Cowboys, he did a lot of stuff for the whole league for the people in his position on all of the other teams.
He hasn't worked with the Cowboys since '89 when he got fired by Jerry, but he's still been doing stuff in the league. He got elected in the Pro
He's been a consultant to the Cowboys, hasn't he?
He's been a consultant to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and reporters and executives, everybody would just call him up and pick his brain about, you know, because he's got so much stuff in there, right? So.
Well, I'm going to say this. I love the picture of the sweater. Those were the most iconic sweaters in the history of sports, because I can remember Bill Parcells wearing his Giants one. Like that style of the sweater that they made, they need to bring that back. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
The sweater rocks.
They do. They do.
Well, another legend lost. Rest in peace, Gil Brandt.
Correct.
You know, the game was changed for the better with him in it, or around it. So
Correct.
Very, very cool. Hey, this morning we woke up to some sad news. Got this thrown in here at the last second. But
now some of the youngins in the crowd may not know this. They may actually think this is a food related item.
Yeah. The world woke up this morning and found out that we have lost Jimmy Buffett. Margaritaville is no more, and you know, his music touches a lot of people. It's very light. It's you know, it's got very, very cool lyrics, and you look at his concert down there in the bottom left. I mean, it's just a great time. Everybody's up on the stage dancing, singing. There'll be 30-40 people up on that stage at one point, right? And if you know anything about the Parrot Heads, the people that follow him around, I mean, it is legit. Like he's got a bigger following than sports franchises, right? I mean, he is a brand. So it says up here, Jimmy passed away peacefully on the night of September 1st, surrounded by his family, friends, music, and dogs. That touches me, man. The fact that you got this guy that's a musician, you know, and he goes out probably the way that he wants to. Pretty crazy. He lived his life like a song to the very last breath and will be missed beyond measure by so many. And then here's a quote from one of the songs that I just wanted to leave us with, because it's I mean, it can speak to a lot, right? It says, it's those changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes, nothing remains quite the same. With all of our running and all of our cunning, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. And laughter is a huge part of my life. So that's powerful words right there. But oh wow, he will be mossy.
We woke up to this, and we had to change the show this morning because we had a sort of different outlook, and it's like, well, why don't we put these three together and start the show off, and then start off slow, sad, and then move up take. But so we had to readjust the show this morning when we woke up to this news.
You know, you hear stories about certain people, and when it comes to celebrities, Jeff, we really don't know who they are as people. I mean, they could be monsters, as we've seen with all the stuff about Epstein's Island and, you know, the Hollywood stuff. We know about sports owners and all the shit that they do. And, you know, you just don't know who people truly are.
Correct.
But just from the stories that you hear about Jimmy, the stories that you heard about the people that follow him at his concerts, man, it just seemed like a really good time. He just really seemed to like people, you know.
And still young.
Yeah, 76 years young. So amazing. So sad news to wake up to this morning. So that's the somberness that we wanted to start off with before we get into the nitty gritty.
And clearly people in the chat didn't know. Some people raised Sierra, you know, still early for them. So clearly they hadn't heard the news yet. So hate to be the bearer of bad news for you guys, but it is what it is.
Well, it's always sad when you hear it, right? Like I still remember the day that I found out Kobe Bryant died, and it's like, there's no way. No way. Not like that. No, he didn't crash in a hell. No. So you just never know what you're going to wake up to any day. So
correct.
All right, Jeffy, let's get into some gaming news now. Let's start off with this PlayStation Portal. We've got a release date. It's November the 15th. Some people are excited. Some people think that it's stupid. It's going to be $200 US. It's going to allow you to do remote play with your PS5 if you are on the same Wi-Fi that the PS5 is on. Jeff, it will not allow you to play cloud games from PS Plus as of now. Right? So that increase in the price for the 800 plus games, you will not be able to play on this unless you're using the PlayStation Plus app through your PS5 and then you're remote playing your PS5, right? That's the workaround. So are you excited about this kind of a device to go along with the console, Jeff? Do you think that this is a waste of money? I know one of the things that I always bitch about when it comes to handhelds is the controller size, the handheld size, because I have bigger hands. I have a PS5. I like the controller. If that is the same size as the controller grips, then this would be perfect for me. But what about you?
So before I answer your question, just want to say goodbye to Sierra. She's taken off. I think they're starting the discharge process, and then they're heading home.
Amazing.
I think they're making a longer trip. I don't think they're doing it all in 9 hours straight. I think they're going to be taking breaks and sleeping over. So everyone say goodbye to Sierra. Drive safe, and then at the same time, we'll say good morning to Crow. Crow, you're going to want to back up to the sad part of the show. We're getting in here. I told you that I wanted to talk about this, and I had a bit of a take that's different than everybody else. I've seen a few people chat about this and bash it. And most of those people are younger and healthy people. And I'm like, you know what? You don't take, that's great. You're young and you're healthy. But what about everyone who's not? And I'm talking about people who have some children with disabilities. Some disabilities are seen, some disabilities are not seen. I have friends that have autistic children, some that are verbal, some that are nonverbal. And, not everybody has 4 televisions in the same room. Most people have a single television that their PlayStation is plugged into. And so if you have a child or a young adult or teenager who, wants to play a game and you want to do something else or play something or watch TV or do something as a family, and the child is going to play the game, I think this is perfect. I think there is a large segment that this is going to be perfect for. And, all the young, healthy people are bashing it for its downfalls, but nobody's talking about who it actually is good for. And I think there is a large group of people who, and there's a lot of families that don't talk about their kids and any hidden disabilities they might have. It could be mental illness. It could be this. It could be that. So I think this is going to be great for a lot of families where they, the kid can still sit on the couch and they can game and they can still watch TV. Parents can watch TV, or another kid can do something else or whatever. Right.
It's a great point, Jeff. I think that no matter who it's for, it's a great accessory device, right? Because it can supplement the gaming in the household. Let's not even think about what the point that you made, which is a great point, real quick. But I think about like the younger couple, right? Wife or girlfriend, fiance, whoever she is, she wants to watch her show, right? I might not want to watch SVU for the 800th time, but I want to sit with her so I can just pull it out and I can do that. There's going to be use cases for this type of device for all kinds of different situations.
Correct.
The point that you're making is, about accessibility for those that may not be able to have it in another way.
Correct.
My thing is, this device has little impact on everybody. You don't have to buy it. It's not the only way you can play. So I just hate how everybody rushes to bash something just because they might not like it, because it's good for somebody else.
Exactly.
Just like when we went through with Stadia.
Yeah. No. Ray and Nicole, they might get one for Evan, right? So yeah,
it's amazing.
So hey, she might want to game and he might want to watch The Bachelor.
Okay. Saying. All right. What it was I was actually giving my scenario of what my life was like back then. So Carly would want to watch SVU, and it's like I can only watch so many SVU, or Grey's Anatomy, and I can only watch so much Grey's Anatomy, right? So that's where I would have loved Stadia back then. That's when it would have been great. But then I had kids, and then it gets crazy. So yeah. See, that's why I like Purple here, because she always keeps me in line. I tend to drift, and she's just right here to pull me back in.
Crow doesn't have a PlayStation 5, but he'd probably get one for his son.
Yeah.
Not everybody can get a Rogue Ally. And some people aren't console, or they're just more console. They're into the console, and this is great for them. They're not in the PCs. They don't have a Steam, so the Steam Deck isn't great. And whatever. So whatever allows people to
in a different walk of life.
That's correct. And you made a good point that you can't play the cloud games. But I think you can. I thought you could install. I played a couple when I used to have the membership for PlayStation Plus. I could play it, but I thought I could also download. I could download the cloud game and then play it.
You can download it to your PlayStation, but then you'd have to remote play with this. It wouldn't store to this device, right?
No, I wouldn't expect
have to be playing it off of your PlayStation.
Wouldn't expect.
But yes, you're correct, because that's how I played Last of Us. That's how I played Days Gone the first time. Is that I just downloaded those off of the cloud. So
this would have been great in the hospital. I could have been
playing. This would have been awesome.
This would have been great in the hospital, since I wasn't doing anything. I was just lying there in my robe, which I still don't know why I didn't change. But
well, this is going to be fun to see this come out. It's going to be fun to see what people can do with it. And again, this is the
people are going to bash it.
Of it.
People are going to bash it. People like to bash things now.
Give it a year, and maybe the cloud game access will become available, and then everybody will change their tune, right? I think the PSP is one of the most successful handhelds of all time, and if it's not one of the most successful handhelds of all time, it's one of my favorite handhelds of all time. It was way ahead of its time. My only downplay was that it was so small. I felt like my hands were like this trying to play it.
I got little tiny. I got little hands, so that wasn't a big deal. If I was in the podcast corner, so I'm in the streaming corner. I'm not in the podcast corner today. It's because I got other stuff to do, other content to make this weekend. Long weekend in Canada. So
hey, speaking of content, look at Crow's last message.
The only gown stuff was just I was filming Fast and Furious. It was
the problem is his arms aren't long enough to reach behind Crow. He can't film from back.
I got the stand right there. I could have had Big Ol' Mac bring me the stand, and
your son. Oh, come on.
I got Big Ol' Mac to bring me the stand, Jesus. And
all right, I gotta roll us along, Jeff, because we're getting long in the tooth here.
More sad news
here.
This is the sad news episode.
Volition and Gearbox are being closed down, both Embracer groups. Volition, one of the games that you might know they've brought us is Saints Row in the past, and Gearbox with Borderlands. You and I had a little bit of a conversation about this, Jeff. We're probably going to see more and more of this. I mean, look, they said that Volition had been open for 30 years. That's an established company, and things change. Right, we live in a different world now, and your point was about the games themselves, correct?
Yes. The games are taking longer to make. They're rushing them out, and no offense, they're ridden. They're not. Look at Gallum. Gallum was rushed out, and it was arguably the worst game of the year. Some people will say that. Shout out to anybody who enjoyed it. That if you enjoyed it, that's fine. I'm just going by what the critics are saying. So I think this is the beginning, and I think we're going to see more. Not everyone is going to do what BG3 did and spend 6 years and put out a good solid game. I don't play Diablo. But again, Crow and others can speak to how it was great up until a point, and then it just kind of fell off and got horrible after a point. And then the patches didn't always help. So Crow and them can speak to that kind of thing. But I think this is the beginning. Companies, it's a business. I say this when we talk sports. I say this when we talk gaming. It's a business, and if you're not making money. And, not everybody can put out a bug-filled piece of crap game and still make $1 billion.
Oh, God bless you.
Sorry, I had a bit of a thing. And so companies are going to be looking and this will either smarten people up to actually, fix the game and actually put out a good game, or there is going to be more of this. So I think there's going to be more of this in 2020. 2023.
The games aren't always getting longer, or are not only getting longer to make too, right? They're getting expensive to make.
Yes.
Because the competition level that's out there. So there's a lot of things. I saw this here too. I wonder if how long will the servers stay online? We talked about EA shutting down a couple of those servers for those games that had kind of faded off. Could this go another 5 years and then you see the same thing, or will they continue to stay on? That's a good question, Crow. Not to see. Well, the biggest game in the world right now is Starfield, and it hasn't even been released to everybody yet, right? Early access players are playing right now, and check out these numbers on Steam, Jeff. Steam, not Game Pass. I'm playing it through Game Pass, not the people that are playing it on Game Pass, right? Sure. Yep. But just from Steam alone, it's already the 4th biggest launch this year. 500,000 Twitch viewers, top selling game on Steam worldwide. And just remember, I mean, those early access people are what's playing that. So pretty crazy numbers to see when you think that people had to pay that extra money to be able to play a few days early. I know you haven't played it. Have you checked any of the streams? Have you seen any of the gameplay yet?
I did. I had a lot of time sitting in my hotel room there.
So what were your first impressions as a viewer?
It looks nice. It's the same, single player grindy game like all the others. This is their formula. This is, it's like their other IPs, but in space, right? Yeah. I've seen Charlie play it. I watched a few other. I saw Lupo play it. A few other people. If it was co-op, I would probably put it on a community stream and play it together as a group. I just don't have the grindy hours to put into it. So it's gonna be on Game Pass day one. So I may kick it around. But yeah.
I don't want it to be MMO style where you're just in an online world of people, but it would be nice if you could play with at least one other person and like do a co-op campaign together, or at least jump in on each other's campaigns to help out.
That's what I loved about Diablo is, in my Discord server, Crow and Bruce and others would just jump in and start playing. Even Crow was playing with Purple and Rouster. I think last week or the week before or something like that, right? So it's just jump in and you can do a this and do a that, and that'd be great if we could just jump in, you, me, and Crow, just jump in and go explore a couple of planets and do a couple that would be awesome.
A couple missions and do what you need to do. A
couple of side quests and whatever. But for me, just to sit here in this seat, which is where I would have to sit and play this for 50s. I just don't have the 50, 60. Any spare time I have, I'm editing stupid videos for the show. So
the Elder Scrolls series are some of my favorite games of all time. It's really what took the RPG genre to another level for me. And I'm excited to play it. I've only put about 30-40 minutes in so far. Just time, like you said. Yesterday was a work day.
You have less time than I do. You have less time than I do. Ray,
now I'm riding the bike every 5 minutes. So
Ray, did you buy the early access, like Ryzak and others did, or are you waiting till the full release next week?
So I thought what was cool, and one of the things that I liked about what they did is I already pay for Game Pass, right? I have a monthly subscription to Game Pass, and they gave me an option to upgrade for only $30 to be able to play the game early because I'm already a Game Pass member. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was an awesome ploy to get me to buy it. So pretty cool. So we'll see a lot more about Starfield. It's not going away anytime soon. So we'll talk about that.
Ray's
waiting.
Are
definitely short on time, Jeffy, so I'm gonna have to fly us through a little bit, okay? These awards, the Streamies. Oh man, I'm all the way down here.
You are. Yeah. So this is something. This the Streamies Awards were streamed live last Sunday. I was watching them. I tweeted a few things out. 99% of some of these people. Oh, scroll back up a little bit. If you can, just scroll up. There you go. Yeah. So, one tab, a little bit more. So, best MMORPG streamer, Asmon Gold. I know Crow likes watching a bit of his content. He's put out a bunch of interesting content, interesting takes and reactions to various things. And I know that 99% of these of people watching have never heard of or watched any of these streams. But I just thought it was good to highlight some of these. Charlie won. There was a few other, you might have heard of some of these people. If you can just keep scrolling just down to the bottom.
We got the chess. We got the chess streamers.
I know. We keep saying we're going to do some chess stuff.
I know.
It's
Timmy.
It's Battle Royale streamer. Actually,
there's that Nadia chick.
I thought Clicks was going to win that one, but best music streamer. And then if you get down to the bottom, it's got some of the best speed run. I actually thought Ludwig would be on this one, but maybe he's not an official speed runner.
Hidden Gem Award. That's pretty cool.
In real life, role play. I know Ray likes to role. I know Ray likes to role play.
Minecraft. There you go. Rising Star Award. Frogan with the cat. Oh, maybe you can get Storm Janak and that great cat there.
Storm Janak.
Stream Game of the Year.
Elden Stream Game. There you go.
Best content organization offline, beating your favorite 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Best philanthropic. Shout out to Ann and Jim. Best VTuber. There you go. Best streamed event.
Look at this. The Mogul Chess Boxing Championship. So what? They box and then they play chess?
I have to go back and watch it.
That would be amazing if so. We got to check on that one. Let's see. We're almost at the end.
Variety streamer. XQC. Yeah. League of Legends.
Doug. Streamer Award went to Pay Money Wubby. The Legacy Award to German 985.
Gamer of the Year. Tens. Gamer of the Year.
And Streamer of the Year. Kai Sinet.
Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
I guess that was before. I guess the voting was done before he went to.
The voting was done beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know who I didn't see on there? I didn't see Jeff Janak on there.
I know.
Next year, Jeff. This is goals.
Do watch Asmund and Charlie. Yep. I didn't watch a lot of Asmund until Crow put me more onto him. I knew of him, but I watched a bit more some of the clips. So, all right, carry on, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm rushing us and moving us along. So, post of the week this week is a double decker because here we go. Messi, look at him sitting on the bench. Inter Miami's playing up in New York. You got all that New York money up there wanting to go see the GOAT play. $480 was the cheapest ticket to see him play. They get to the game, they see him warm up, but he's in a penny, which means he's on the bench. I just paid $480+ to come and watch the GOAT sit on the bench. It's ridiculous. People were pissed. They were seething. Okay? They were crying their eyes out. Purple Haze was down there. She was trying to calm everybody down because Messi came into the game. And look at this, Jeff. It's a little blurry, I know, but this is him. He plays the pass. He cuts through. Ball's played over. Nice little flick there. Look at this control here. Brings it back. Look at this pass with the outside of the left foot. Oh, my God. Perfect pass. He gives it back. Messi's right in front of the goal. There he is. Beautiful. He's the GOAT for a reason, Jeff. Now, you said something to me earlier that you saw some posts and people were saying that all he does is stand around and then he turns it on when he sees an opportunity to score. What's the problem with that?
I don't know.
He's Messi.
I don't know.
You know, I do see that a lot.
I don't understand this sport. So unsportsmanlike, I don't know.
Well, I've seen it a lot from him throughout the past, I'd say like 4 or 5 years. The more the games that I've watched, you kind of see him just kind of, he's conserving his stamina, right? But the idea of it is that he's such a focal point that he winds up taking multiple defenders' attention away. Right. So by him just standing there, he's keeping them with him. And then that opens up other people. And that's kind of what you're seeing through some of these plays. So
there you go.
Post of the week is Messi giving everyone in New York a heart attack for spending all that money to watch him sit on the bench. But then he comes in and he scores an amazing goal. So money well spent.
Sure.
All right, Jeff, did you hear about, we got a few of them here we're going to fly through. The Canada U17 women's national team won 21-0, Jeff. 3 touchdowns in the game with 3 extra points. Jeff, my question to you is this. Should they have taken it to 21 goals?
I had to look at this several times. Was this rugby? What the hell are you talking about? Is this rugby? What the hell? hell is this? I did not realize this. Didn't know you could score that many. I didn't know you could score goals in soccer, let alone this many.
Yeah.
So is there no mercy rule? Is there no
I've seen scores like this before.
Have you?
And I have to shake my head. I have to shake my head and say, like, at what point do you stop scoring, right? I've been on the losing end of this, not nearly as bad, but still getting shut out, right? But I've been on the winning side of a big victory. I'll tell you a story about me coaching basketball. Freshman year, one of the first games of the season. My team was, I'm trying to get them to a point where we can compete at the end of the season so that they can maybe move up to JV or possibly move up to the varsity team. Right. And so we're playing one of our old rival schools, wasn't a rival anymore. And we were winning. I want to say we were winning by about 20 at halftime. Okay. And so the coach is over there, he's talking to his team and I'm talking to my team. And we weren't doing a full court press, but we were doing a 3-quarter press. Basically, we were picking them up in the backcourt. And the idea of it was to force turnovers because I was trying to teach my team about trapping the corners. And the parents from the other team were in the stands. And man, if you could have heard the boo birds coming down on me, they were screaming at me for continuing to put pressure on their kids. And, I was telling my kids, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. We're not here to worry about the score. We're here to prepare you for the next level, right? And the coach from the other team at one point turned around and told all of his parents to shut up, that he approved what I was doing because they were having to figure out. It was basically a practice for them at that point, and they had to figure out how to do it. And so they were getting live action to do that. And so, you feel the human side of it. You don't want to embarrass anybody, but I have a job to do. And my job is to make my team prepared for anything. Right. And when you don't have competition, 21 goals is no competition. What are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to give it to the goalie and let them dribble back and forth for 90 minutes. You got to keep playing the game. So although it's ugly on the score, I understand some of the challenges that went in there. I mean, hell, they scored 3 minutes into the game, and then they didn't score for, they did score in extra time. They scored in extra time. Why are you scoring in extra time? All right. I don't feel like that anymore. Screw them.
Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means, but
all right. Jeff, 92,000 people in attendance at the University of Nebraska.
I'm glad those extra few people showed up to put them over. The 92,000. I would have been sad if it got to 91,999. I would have been like, oh, come on, really? Jam 3 more.
The largest volleyball event ever, especially a women's sporting event for now. Now, remember, this team had some controversy just last year for having a little risque locker room celebration video that got put out there. But still, they're apparently a pretty good team. So the fact that 92,000 people showed up to watch them play the game, not 92,000 people to show up in the locker room to watch the celebration, tells me that these people really cared about the game. They care about the team. This is an awesome, awesome thing to see. I love when they do these kind of events at the outdoor football stadiums.
2023 is the year of women's sports. Just going back to college basketball. Forget about your little Twins friends. Talking about college basketball, like record numbers, women's March Madness, everything. 2023 is the year of women's sports. And so I was really happy when this came out. I know Purple and I tweeted a little bit about this together. So I'm sure she's very excited about this, and I think this is just the beginning. I think there's going to be more of these events. And shout out to everyone in Nebraska for coming out. Those 92,000 people showing up. Not for a football game, but for volleyball.
Yeah, you say that about women's sports, Jeff, and there's another news story that I didn't put in here. There's a new women's professional hockey league that has just come to a continuation of other leagues, but with more funding and everything else. So they're trying to grow the women's ice hockey as well. So cool stuff to see, right?
I love it.
X, formerly known as Twitter, has a new feature that's coming out soon where you will be able to slide on your DMs and reply instantly just from sliding on that.
Love sliding in the raised DMs. Love sliding in the raised DMs.
Yeah, so you'll literally slide in the DMs now, right? So you'll just slide over. You'll make your little response. It seems like a little simple thing, and yes, I agree. It's still Twitter. Yeah, there you go. New feature coming. But that's not all. That's not where they're stopping, right? They're talking about bringing video and audio calls to X. It'll work on, iOS, Android, and PC, Jeff. That's actually pretty cool to see. It's not just going to be on the mobile. No phone number needed. Effective global access. I want to look at this reply down here. It says, will it be encrypted? It says, not at first, but we will add the ability to turn encryption on or off dynamically.
Yep. Yeah, you got to have some encryption.
Does that scare you at all that it's not encrypted?
Well, it's going to have to be to pass, certain privacy regulations here in Canada, the UK. Yep. So it's going to have to be, right? I know you guys don't take your privacy very seriously, but the rest of the world does. It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be encrypted, and I think this is the first. Like I said a few weeks ago, he wants a WeChat. He's looking at WeChat, and so I hope Vine is next. I hope he comes out with a TikTok type killer type Vine type thing.
Just to add to the platform. Just make it a. He said before he wants to make it a one-stop shop.
He does.
They're talking about cryptocurrency and banking as well.
Yeah. He wants banking in there. That's going to be harder to do in other countries because we're more regulated here in Canada and the UK and stuff. So, but it's a wild, wild west in the US. You guys won't be able to do anything. So that's right, and
we love it here.
That's right, and telemarketers can now call through Twitter at just layup. So we can do fundraising calls right on the Twitter, and it'd be great. Can't wait to hear Effie and what he has to say about how he's going to be utilizing this new feature.
To the local fire department. That's the one I always get. The Fraternal Order of Police needs your money.
Exactly.
Hey, this stat is wild, and it doesn't just say that in the tweet. It's actually wild. Of all the NFL teams, there were only 2 teams, Jeff, in history that have not had a top 5 pick this century, meaning from 2000 on. The Pittsburgh Steelers last had a top 5 pick in 1970. The New England Patriots last had a top 5 pick in 1994. And I say that to segue into this question for you, Jeff. Are the Patriots and Steelers the greatest NFL franchises in history?
As we always say, what's the bar? What are you ranking it on? Are you ranking it on Super Bowl wins? Are you ranking it on Super Bowl appearances? Are you ranking? It all depends on your ranking. Are you, which NFL team? So I know I sent you this stat. And I know it didn't make the show because we're short on time. But every NFL team is worth minimum. I think what was it? What is billions. It? The Chargers have the lowest number at like $3 billion or
it's billions.
Or
it's
something.
Not even funny anymore.
No. So again, if you're looking at money, you're looking at the business side of it, which I do. Then of course it's Dallas because of Jerry and everything else. So again, just what is your bar? Are you measuring it on playoff appearances? Are you measuring off playoff wins? If you go back in the history of the NFL, Dallas is up there with the top, number of wins. So it all just depends on what you're ranking it by. And you can, as we know, math is awesome, and you can make the math work any way you want it to work, right?
Why did I think you'd give me an answer other than Dallas Cowboys?
There was no Dallas Cowboys in the show last week.
No. Well, Jeff, I'm going to go ahead and do this because I know you want to go back and clip it, right?
Yep.
It is now time for 5 guesses. Okay? And to segue off...
So fun facts, folks, I actually have that as a clip that I can use anywhere now. So I actually have that saved. So if we ever mess this up, I do have that as a clip that I could just drop right in. So I have that saved in my Filmora cloud that I can just drop that in. So yeah.
Well, segueing off of what you just said, Jeff, there was no Dallas Cowboys in the show last week. So I figure, you know what? We've got the NFL season starting next week. Jeff's been in the hospital. I want to do something for Jeff. I want to make him feel good, and I want to make him feel special. And so today's 5 guesses, Jeff, is I want
top
you
5
to
Dallas
give me...
sorry, start that again. I screwed up. Start that
go
again.
Ahead.
No, go ahead.
Your 5 guesses this week are to give me 5 players in the Cowboy Ring of Fame, but you cannot give me Landry. You cannot give me the triplets. And that's it.
Marcus Ware.
Marcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware. It's not on the list, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. He just put in there last week.
All right, so that was cheating. Never mind, you got it. I'll give it to you because I did hear about it. It's just not. It's not on this list. All right, so you got DeMarcus Ware. Who else, Jeff?
Excuse me for a second. I didn't know this was coming, but I have a prop.
Yeah, you always have a prop. Roger Staubach is definitely in the Ring of Honor. So you've got DeMarcus Ware, you've got Roger Staubach, and some jammies with a pocket in the back that opens up.
Of course. Got my Snoopy jammies on.
All right, so we're at Staubach, we're at Ware. Who else, Jeff?
For the edit, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, Jeff, is not in fame.
I knew that. That's the big controversy. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Chuck Hawley.
Chuck Hawley is definitely in the Ring of Honor, Jeff. Great job.
Gotta like it. What are we at?
You're at 3.
I don't know if the Jimmy Johnson was a joke. Again, that's a sore point for a lot of Cowboy fans. The whole Jimmy Johnson thing. How about my boy Clifford Harris?
Clifford Harris, the old Cliff Harris. Yes,
I don't know. I don't know if his name is Clifford.
It's Cliff Harris. He is in the Ring of Honor.
I don't know if it's Cliffy. Because we were talking quarterbacks, I guess we got to talk Dandy Don.
Dandy Don?
Like Dandy Don.
Don Meredith? Is that who it is?
That is who it is, Dandy Don.
Yeah, he's in the Ring of Fame. I knew this would be an easy one for you, but I also was hoping that you were a fake Cowboys fan and I would catch you slipping and you wouldn't know any of this, and then Ray and I could have laughed at you till the bank. But you're proving me wrong. So
I have a prop too.
Oh my god!
What number are we at? What are we at?
You need 2 more, Jeff. Give me 2 more.
Oh, do I? Did I say Bob Lilly?
You did not say Bob Lilly, but Bob Lilly is in the Ring of Fame. Yes. So 1 more, Jeff. I'll give you extra credit if you can tell me who it is that I'm thinking about that we've already talked about.
So I have no idea. So you asked me the question about the Patriots and the Steelers, and for the longest time, we kept saying, look, this dude should be in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. He at the time, that has now been eclipsed by Mr. Brady, but at the time, he was the only player that had 5 Super Bowl rings. And if it's a Super Bowl driven league, why is the only player, again, going back in time, who had 5 Super Bowl rings not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Now, Ray can argue he got a few of those rings as a 49er, and Ray can argue that all he wants. But he got more of his rings with the Dallas Cowboys. He was, until Tom, the only player to have 5. I think he's second to Tom now because he's got 5. Mr. Haley, Charles Haley. 99% sure that is not who you were thinking.
Not who I was thinking. That's not who I was thinking, but that's a great one because, yes, Charles Haley was a beast. So, Jeff, you absolutely crushed that, and I will say here today with full confidence that you truly are a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so I'm going to tell you who is in the Ring of Honor now. Starting first, Bob Hayes, Bob Lilly, Charles Haley, Chuck Howley, Cliff Harris, Darren Woodson, Don Meredith, Don Perkins, Drew Pearson, Emmitt Smith, Gil Brandt, Larry Allen, Leroy Jordan, Mel Renfro, Michael Irvin, Randy White, Rayfield Wright, Roger Staubach, Tex Schramm, Tom Landry, Tony Dorsett, Troy Aikman, and now the latest member, DeMarcus Ware.
Correct.
So there you go, Jeff.
I could have gone a number of different ways. I could have gone. I could have probably named all of them if you took a few of them off. You took a few of them off, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the one I was thinking was Gil Brandt, just because we talked about him earlier.
Yeah,
so that was awesome.
I realized that, but I did want to get a little rant in there about Charles Haley, so gave me a chance to rant about Charles Haley. But
well, hey, this is kind of an abrupt end to the show than normal. I apologize, but I am up against the clock, so I got to get in the car and head to Greensboro. Jeff, I'm so glad you're back. This was fun. We'll do this again next week, and then we may have some news to share, but we'll just talk about that later.
Sounds good. Ray and Ann, everyone, thank you for joining. Purple Haze, of course, Crow Resin, everybody, Sierra and Will, drive safe. Drive safe on the way home.
Can't wait for you to get home.
Take all your stops. So, yeah, appreciate everybody stopping in this early morning. Have fun out there gaming. Enjoy your long weekend. This is, except for Christmas, this is the only North American long weekend that we all get to share together.
Definitely so.
And as a laborer, you get to, enjoy your day on Monday.
Yeah. Thanks again to Ann and Jim for helping out last week. Appreciate y'all. It was a lot of fun. And Jeff, I'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.